Welcome to Tales by the Campfire, West by Westfall. Tonight it is a particularly cold night, so please help yourself to provisions as you gather in close by the fire. We continue our tale of Jonjunior, Slayer of Hogger and Bane to all gnolls. Now when we last left off with John, we just got ourselves some nice new looking armour. However, we've realised that there's far more to the life than just looking pretty cool. And don't forget, we do of course only get the one life. So with that in mind, John decided to set himself off on the road once more and gather just a little bit more experience from the forests of Elwyn. Now of course there were still many more people left in the area that could do with our help, so we set out to the task of finding a few quests. And lo and behold, it wasn't long before we encountered our first one.
The Westfall logging camp suffers nearly constant attacks from wolves and bears. We could use your help out here.
Wolves and bears. John thought to himself, I've killed far worse than merely wolves or bears. And so, utilising the skills that he'd gained earlier in his adventures, John did quite comfortably manage to deal with the wildlife in the area. Of course, he wasn't just out there to kill wildlife, and he was actually going on a further search for some missing guards until falling upon the grisly sight, but still gaining enough experience to level up in the process, and the naturalist talent, which increased our physical damage by 3%, although the other effect didn't really do anything for us. Of course, one thing that John could do, and that was bring some vengeance to the people who had killed the allies. With many more quests still ahead of us, we decided to take on a couple of rogue mages. Now these are outcasts that also serve the Devious Brotherhood, people that we've been fighting now for quite a while. And they could be quite a challenge if you didn't take them down quick enough. Now most of the time at this kind of levels of the game, you actually don't have much in the way of magical resistance, so we very quickly set about to dispatch these with every tool at our disposal. Fire, sword, and of course just general bastardry. And then we found ourselves stumbling upon a camp of enemies that we do quite like to fight, these of course being gnolls. Now our reputation as a gnoll hunter is almost legend around these parts, and we thought that we'd go and just show them once again why they should put fear on the name of Jonjunior, and almost with a burning desire we took to slaughtering these gnolls. Actually earning ourselves another level, and of course with another level came another skill, which was Heroic Strike. 15 rage for an increased melee damage by 16 that also generated a little bit of high threat. Now this was a very good ability for us, but we did get one other thing at this level, and that turned out to be accuracy, with a 5% extra chance to hit for both our spells and abilities. This again was massively helpful. You've always got to be careful when you're hunting gnolls, thought John to himself. You never know just how tricksy these bastards might get to be. And of course this started to play on the mind more and more, as we did only have the one life. Now maybe in the future we should start to look at pulling slightly smaller packs. As you can see, our health was quickly dropping. We went right back again to hunting down more of the bandits in the area, as we'd been tasked to do by some of the local guards. Light work indeed, John thought to himself as he quickly wrapped up the last of them, before gaining another level, and with it a new skill, which this time would be lightning reflexes, giving us 6% increase to our agility. The only thing left to do now was to hand in some of the quests that we completed earlier on, and then start to make our way back to town so we could do a little bit more on our profession work. And obviously our making of copper bars seems to have done us big favour, as we gained ourselves a brand new level, and with a new level we get a new skill. And this one was Drained Soul. Absolutely useless for us, so we immediately re-rolled it.
Okay.
Let's see what we got next. In this case, John earned himself Carrion Swarm, 40 damage in a frontal cone, which would then reduce their heals by 25%, and that's on every target that's hit. That's pretty damn useful. And it's not the only thing that we get this level, as we do also earn ourselves an Improved Imp, which we don't use Imp, so we're going to get rid of this ability, and then we earn ourselves Nature's Majesty, which is going to buff Wrath, Starfire, Starfall, Star Surge, and other spells that we just don't have, so we'll get rid of that and then earn ourselves a Burning Soul, increasing our critical strike chance by 1% on our spells, and our pushback reduced when casting them by 33%. The only thing that seemed left to do now was to continue our crafting just to gain that little bit more experience, and see if by doing so we could earn ourselves a brand new ability. Which of course we did, and it looks like the one that we got for ourselves was Shredding Blows, which was a fantastic ability which will increase the armor penetration that we do on our next 3 swings every time we get a crit. Of course, now this made us significantly more powerful than we were before,
Right.
and we decided that in a little bit of a nostalgia trip, we'd fly straight back over where we fought Hogger, just throwing a couple of V's out at the local knolls, before continuing on our quests to meet the People's Militia and assist them. Now, all we knew going into this was that there was having some trouble with some local thugs, and there was rumours that perhaps this is where the headquarters of the Defias Brotherhood were. So eagerly we took to the skies, and we couldn't wait to get started and meet the locals in the area and send those on our way.
Ah, so my friend sent you here? How kind. Well, the Stormwind Monarchy has abandoned our cause. Now it is up to the People's Militia to keep the land free from corruption. If our cause interests you, I can put your combat skills to use in the name of freedom. The band of wretches responsible for driving the good people of Westfall from the land call themselves the Defias Brotherhood. The People's Militia has but one goal: to defend the lands of Westfall and return peace to our surroundings. Unfortunately, the price of peace is often blood.
Though blood is something that John is certainly not afraid to shed nor give freely. So we took once again to the field on the back of our trusty steed, and we started to look for where we could find these Defias bandits once more and really start to gain the trust of the People's Militia. And quite easily we began to dispatch them. Is this all they can give to us? Paltry men that come one by one and fall even quicker. Well, if that's all they've got to throw at us, I think we'll be clear, John eagerly thought to himself. As he worked his way from the back of the farmhouse, slowly but surely narrowing in on his prey. Now he knew that he had 15 of each of these to kill and collect the bandanas along the way, so he quickly started to think of ways that he could speed things up for himself. Quite simply, at the back there, as you can see, there was 2 that seemed to be almost easy pickings. John prepared himself and stepped forward, beginning to charge up his spell, when out of nowhere he was ambushed. Quickly he began to fight, and realising how low his health was going, he threw to drink a health potion, but it just didn't seem to be enough. Already he was back at half health as he quickly began to run, fleeing with every fibre, praying to every god he'd ever known, blessing by the light that he could escape. But in those last moments, John never saw anything other than the abyss. And so, on a random hill at the side of a farm in Westfall, did Jonjunion's story truly end. Let this be a lesson to all of you. Do not go quietly into the night, but do not go foolishly into any conflict. Thank you for watching this attempt at the Ironman challenge. I have, of course, been the Cooped-Up creative, and who knows who will attempt this challenge next. Good night, and stay safe out there.